Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
Lecture is over. Previous lecture.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir, over.
Okay, we will start within 2 minutes. Is it my screen is visible?
No, sir.
Yes, sir.
I have shared the screen. Visible, huh? Okay. Chalo, now let us will start. We already discussed the concept of a decision theory because many times in a real life situation we have to take the decisions, and if there are more than one criteria, then only the decision is required. If there is single criteria, no need to take a decision because that will be the compulsory criteria or strategies. If there are multiple strategies, we have to go for the decisions. And whenever we take a decision, the decision is depend upon the certain states, situations, scenarios. We already see the how a decision is to be taken by using a decision under risk factor, because the concept is included in your syllabus. The decision is to be taken under uncertainty, that is max min, maximax, max min, minimax, regret, Hurwitz, and Laplace criterion, and decision making under risk. So decision making under risk, that is calculation of EFP and EVPI. The last time we already discussed. Whenever we discuss the decision theories, we have a historical data that is called a payoff matrix. We have a historical data that is called a payoff matrix. In short, I will repeat the last lectures. The decision theory consists the management, planning, organizing, controlling, and motivating. All management principles are applicable in case of decision theory. It is a part of management. While taking a decision, there are three different types of decisions. The first is strategic decision, second one is administrative decision, and the third one is operating decisions. In case of strategic decisions, this decision is relevant to the external environment factors which are affecting to take a decision in an organization. Administrative decision, so that is these are the strategic level decisions which in an organization sometimes we have to take strategy level decisions. It's called administrative decisions. And the operative decisions, the manager in a regular working or day to day working takes many decisions, that is called an operating decisions. After these types of decisions, the component of decision making theory, there are some certain components, parts, or it is also called factors involved in taking a decision. A decision maker, that means a manager or a person who is responsible to take a decision. The decision may be taken by a single person or a group of persons. But before going to take a decision, so there is some objective. Why you are going to take a decision? Because some objective has to be defined. Based on that objective, only the decision will come into the picture. The system environment, there are many environmental, socio-environmental factors are going to be considered while taking the decision. Suppose the environmental factors may be related to the machines or may be related to the man or any other factors. Alternative course of action, right? That means in case of taking a decision, so there are some multiple alternatives are there, and out of that, the particular alternative option or alternative action has to be taken. So, in case of decision, at least two alternative options has to be there, otherwise the decision is not applicable. Choice must have unequal efficiencies for the desired outcome, right? It cannot provide the same chance, otherwise his choice would not be a matter. Because there should be a chance for each and every criterion or each and every action. Pure matrix, as I said, the pure matrix is provided while taking a decision, that is the historical data. Sometimes in the organization, if you want to allocate a man to the machine, then how you allocate the man to the machine? Because you should know the some historical facts of the machine as well as some performance of the human or of employees. Then and then only you can come to the conclusion that the particular person is assigned to the particular machine, like an assignment problem. Opportunity loss table. If a decision is failed, see, if sometimes due to failure of not adopting a most favorable outcome action or action strategy, that means the most favorable result is not incurred, that is called an opportunity loss table. The payoff table consists of some states, natures, and strategies. Here, probabilities of each and every state P1, P2, P3 is given. This is the payoff cost or matrix. X11 will be the cost incurred while taking a S1 strategy decision to N1 states by using P1 probability. Meaning is this. If a S1 strategy to be selected in case of X12 cost, P2 is the probability and the state is N2. That means there are multiple situations are arise, and in that multiple situations, situation 1, situation 2, situation 3, so on situation N. So out of N number of situations, which situation is to be applied in case of decision. Decision models we have already discussed. Decision making under uncertainty. This is the easiest model where the decision making consequences of each course of actions are certainly known, right? The values are certainly known. Decision making under risk. Here are several states and their nature of probabilities are given for each state are known. Decision making under uncertainty. Here the nature and state of the probability is not known. Decision making under conflict used in case of decision tree analysis. Say sometimes the decision conflict is going to be created. Suppose there are a group of persons. The one group is saying that the X decision will be taken. Another group say that Y decision is to be taken. So which one is to be finalized, that will be used by using the decision tree analysis, right? So which is the better path? Decision making under risk, which we have already discussed. Under decision making risk, first of all we have to calculate the expected monetary value criteria. How we calculated the expected monetary values? Here, to find the expected, to find the expected monetary value EMV for a strategy for S1. This is a given example. There are three strategies and three states. These are the probabilities, right? And this is the cost matrix. Now here we have to find the EMV. EMV. So the formula for calculating the EMV is the 0.3 multiplied by 20 plus 0.6 multiplied by 18, 0 plus 1 multiplied by minus 9 will be 15.9. Similarly, you go on calculating the EMV for each and every row, and out of these three strategies, which one is the highest strategy? 17.5 is the highest strategy. It means that the maximum EV is 17.5 and it belongs to the S2 strategy. Hence, the optimal strategy will be the S2. This is the conclusion. From this, the another calculation we calculated, that is expected value with perfect information EVPI. And while calculating the expected value for the perfect information, here we have selected the values from the above table, right? The N1 occurs is S3. That means the maximum value is occurred. Say for example, here 40, N1 state is 40 maximum, N2 state is 18 maximum, and N3 state is 12 maximum. So by using these values, the payoff matrix is 18. For this, N3 is S3, payoff matrix is 12. Hence, the expected value for perfect information will be 0.3 multiplied by 40, because 0.3 multiplied by highest is 40, 0.6 multiplied is 18, 0.1 multiplied is 12, right? So this is the simple formula which is used to calculate the expected value with perfect information, and this is the 24. Now one more calculation we last time calculated, that is the value of perfect information VPI. This is the difference between the expected value with perfect information and the maximum expected value without perfect information. So VPI is expected value with the perfect information minus maximum EMV. Expected value of perfect information 24, just now we calculated. So 24 minus 17.5, that is 6.5 will be the answer. So VPI helps in determine the maximum amount that should be spent for acquiring the information, like the charges of anything, maybe expenditure, maybe market research, maybe advertisement, maybe sales. So like this, in a MCQ question paper, first of all, we have to try to clear the terms. What are the decision making elements, that is the components, decision maker, its objectives, what is environment, what is payoff matrix, what is payoff table, how many types of decisions are there, what are types of decision models are there, and how to calculate EMV. Then after calculating the EMV, we have to calculate the VPI as well as expected value with perfect information VVPI. Now, the next part is decision making under uncertainty. I think last time we have discussed up to this, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, now decision making under uncertainty. This includes the decision where the probability of occurrences of the different outcomes or states of nature cannot be estimated. When this is applicable, so this is very important, probability of occurrences cannot be estimated. In that case only because uncertain state is there. Uncertain state is there, right? This happens when there is no past experience. When this happens, we cannot estimate. That means there is no past experience or historical data. That is why the probability is not going to be known or not going to be estimated, right? So in this case, so we have to apply this criteria under the condition of uncertainty as follows. The first one is very simple. Max min, that is called gain, or min max, it is called loss criteria. What is first criteria? Max min, that is gain criteria, or min max, that is loss criteria. It represents the pessimistic approach. So in this criteria, max min and min max criteria, which approach is applicable? Pessimistic approach is applicable. It is not optimistic or most likely. It is in between that, moderate, average. It is called as pessimistic, right? Average, or it is called moderate of the decision maker. Now here we have to work out, write down the minimum payoff for each strategy. Write down the minimum payoff for each strategy.
हाँ नमस्कार सर.
Just a minute.
आपलं यशस्वी एज्युकेशनल सोसायटीचं इंटरनॅशनल इन्स्टिट्यूट
Okay. Uh, Write down the minimum payoff for each strategy. Right? There are some certain strategies. For each and every strategy, we have to work out the minimum payoff. Then out of that minimum, we have to find out the maximum payoff. Right? With the help of example, I will explain you, don't worry. First, we have to find out the minimum payoff of each and every strategy, and whatever minimum we calculated, out of that minimum, we have to find out the maximum payoff. The strategy corresponding to the maximum payoff is called an optimal strategy. Now, the same example we'll consider the following profit table. Note down this table, come on very fast. This is the table. Note down the table. From this table, so this table, it has got three strategies, S1, S2, S3. And how many states are there? N1, N2, N3 and N4. These are the four states. Note down. Only this table you note down. You find out the solution. It's very easy method. S1, S2, S3, these are the three strategy, and out of these three strategy, the one we are going to finalize it. We are taking a decision which one is to be selected, either S1, S2 or S3. But in case of selecting the strategy, either S1, S2 and S3, the decision is depend upon the state of nature. So how many states are there? N1, N2, N3 and N4. So depending upon N1, N2, N3 and N4, which one is the best strategy, which one is the best decision, we have to find out. And that method is the maximum. The first method for this is max min, that is gain, or min max, that is loss criterion method. Have you noted the example, all of you? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now you look at the first strategy. What are the elements in the first row? First strategy means first row. 30, 10, 10 and 8. Say out of these, first of all, we have to select the minimum one. What is the minimum one? Come on. Keep on interacting. From S1 row for S1 strategy, which is the minimum one?
N4.
8.
N4 8.
8. We have to say 8. Okay, 8 is the minimum, right? Now, from second strategy, again we have to select the minimum one. What is minimum? Minus 15.
Minus
Am
15.
I right? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
From
Yes, sir.
S3, what is minimum? From S3,
Minus 6.
minus 6 is minimum. Is it clear? The first, write down the first step, write down the minimum payoff for each strategy. Yes, we have noted here minimum value of the each strategy. Now we have to identify the maximum payoff among these minimum. So 8 minus 15 and minus 6, these are the minimum values, and out of this we have to find out the maximum one. Which is the maximum one? 8. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
From this, what
Yes,
is
sir.
maximum? 8 is the maximum. So we get, note down, come on, note down with me. We get that the minimum payoff. So that we get the minimum payoff, that is profit for strategy S1 is equal to 8. This is what the decision taker. So which is the optimal strategy? The optimal strategy is the S1 strategy. Optimal strategy is the S1 strategy, right? Now here the minimum payoff similarly, right? Minimum payoff of profit for S1 strategy is 8. Now minimum payoff of profit for strategy S2 is equal to minus 15. Minus 15. Am I right? For S2, what is minus 15? Are you getting or not? For S2, what is minus 15? But what is this? This is the loss. Minimum payoff for strategy S3 is what is minus 6. Again, this is the loss. Now, hence, note down this statement. Hence, the maximum profit among these minimax is 8. Maximum profit among these minimax is 8, and 8 is corresponding to the S1 strategy. And 8.1 is the maximum one, which is corresponding to the S1 strategy. Hence, the decision is to be adopt the optimal strategy is S1. So what decision will be taken by the manager? The S1 will be the best strategy, like that the decision is taken. Is it clear? All of you, all are with me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now second criteria.
Yes.
Second criteria. In the examination, they may give the values and they ask you, you find out the minimum strategy, right? By using the max min or min max. Now another maxi max, that is gain, or mini min, that is loss. See, both are different. First one is max min and mini max. But now here the different criteria we are applying. What is maxi max? That is mean gain. Mini min, what is loss, minimum. Both criteria are different, no doubt, right? In the MCQ question paper they may ask. Now here there is a possibility to ask the question in MCQ pessimistic. What is the criteria, right? What is the decision is taken in maximin and min-max criteria? So what kind of decision, which kind of approach, pessimistic approach is used? Similarly, here in case of maximin and maximax and minimin, which approach is used? Optimistic approach is used, right? Most favorable, optimistic approach is used. Solving the problem of payoff table. Reprinting the gain, we proceed as follows. Write down the maximum payoff for each category. Again, note down this steps. Step 1, 2, 3. Write down the maximum payoff for each strategy. Identify the maximum figure among these payoff matrix. That is, we find the max profit value. The strategy corresponding to the max payoff is the optimal strategy. Thus, here we go for strategy which maximizes the maximum possible payoff or gains. Use the same example I'm using here. Note down the example again. Note down this example. Note down this example. Come on, do fast. Do fast. Once it is over, just remind me. First step is to find out the maximum. Second step is to, out of that maximum, again we have to find the maximum, max to max, right? Then select the particular strategy belongs to that maximum value. Over.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now see, we'll start working on this. What is the criteria? Our criteria is maximum criteria. So from S1 strategy, what is the maximum one? From S1 strategy, what is the maximum profit?
30.
30.
Or from S2 strategy, what is the maximum profit?
40.
40.
What is from S3 strategy? What is the maximum profit? 50.
50.
So what we selected? We have selected the maximum from each strategy, and now out of this maximum of each strategy, we have to select the maximax. It is called a max of max, maximax. So what is maximum? 50 is the maximum. It means that the 50 is the max profit and belongs to the S3 strategy. So which strategy, which decision is to be adopted? The strategy 3 decision is to be adopted. All are getting or not? Right? All are getting or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
In earlier
Yes, sir.
case, S1 strategy decision were taken, but now here in this case, again it is the different answer, that is max. Similarly here, maximum pay of profit for strategy S1 is 30, for maximum pay of profit for strategy S2 is 40, maximum pay of profit for strategy S3 is 50, right? Not down inward. The maximum profit among these maximize is 50 and it is corresponding to the strategy S3. Hence, the optimum strategy will be S3. Hence, the optimal strategy will be S3. All are agree or not? Come on. All of you
Yes,
with
sir.
me?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes.
Now, third criteria, right? This is third criteria, no? It's not second, this is third criteria. Sorry. Third criteria, note down. This is the third criteria. Hurwitz alpha criteria. So now in this criteria, MCQ type question, this criteria, right? Don't confusion. Max mean, min max, max max, right? Mean mean. It represents the realistic approach. Here in this criteria, which approach is used? The realistic approach is used, right, by the decision maker, because avoiding the extremes of, that means the extreme values are going to be avoided, too low or too high. Extreme dismal means the sad or very bad or without hope. Pessimism approach means worst possible outcome. It is called worst possible outcome, that is max mean. And fantastic optimism, that is maximax. It uses a coefficient of optimism, that is alpha. What is used here? Coefficient is used. When alpha is used in Hurwitz alpha criteria, the alpha is used, and alpha is, it is a coefficient, and that value is denoted, right? Now the alpha value belongs to, this is very important. In case of MCQ, they will ask the alpha value lies in between 0 less than equal to alpha or less than equal to 1. Right? Keep in mind this, very important, right? In MCQ, because sometimes they may ask, in case of this, the realistic approach or Hurwitz alpha criterion approach, the what will the value of alpha, right? So range of alpha value is this, the representing the decision maker's degree of optimism. Value of alpha is estimated on the basis of past experience. How it is to be estimated? Based on the past experience, or otherwise, and alpha will be 0. Either it is to be estimated by past experience, or otherwise the alpha is going to 0 implies the pessimism, that is maximin approach. Alpha is equal to 0 means pessimism approach, that is maximin approach, and alpha is equal to 1 implies the optimism, right? Optimism approach, that is what maximax approach. Keep in mind, don't confuse, right? Don't confuse. Very important, these lines, right? This is the range. If it is not past data experience, then alpha is equal to 0. 0 means what? It implies the pessimism. What is pessimism? Maximin. Again, for pessimism, which approach is used? Maximin approach is used in case of alpha. Alpha is equal to 1 implies optimism. Optimism is max. That means if it is 1, it is maximum. If it is 0, it is a minimum. Like that, we have to assume. For pay table of representative gains, we proceed as follows. The steps or algorithm: estimate or identify the value of alpha. So sometimes the value of alpha is estimated, or sometimes it is referred from the table. Doesn't matter. You can estimate, you can assume on your own alpha value. Identify the largest pay of capital M and the smallest payoff of small m for each strategy. Right? Each strategy. Now this is important. Calculate the expected value of payoff for each strategy as expected value is equal to alpha multiplied by capital M plus 1 within bracket 1 minus alpha multiplied by small m. This is the formula. Again, you keep in mind how expected value is to be calculated in this particular criteria, right? The MCQ type questions. Identify the maximum payoff among all these expected values, right? The strategy corresponding to this payoff matrix is the optimal strategy. Now the same example here I referred. Same example I referred. Come on, note down the table. From example only you will understand, right? First you try to understand the example, then you go for referring the algorithms. Come on, note down this example. I'll give you 2 minutes. Same example. The strategy S1, S2, S3 states N1, N2, N3, and 4. There are 3 strategies, 4 states are there. Now out of this we have to find out max, that is capital M, min, that is small m. Let it be any notation, doesn't matter. Right? Max, that is capital M, min, that is small m. This is the notation which I use. Now first of all we will work out this table. Come on, do fast. Is it over? All of you?
Yes,
Are you
sir.
with me?
Done, sir.
Okay, good.
Yes, sir.
Now we'll work out. Now we'll work out the example, right? Okay. Now from this we have to find out, from each and every strategy we have to find out the max value and min value. From S1 strategy the max value is 30 and min value is 8. Are you agree? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Now from S2 strategy max value is 40 and minimum value
Minus
is
15.
50. Similarly, from S3 strategy, maximum value is 50 and minimum value is minus 6. Are you getting or not? There are scientific methods to take a decision. That is called a decision theory, right? Mostly,
Yes,
most
sir.
of the organizations, they are applying such kind of technique. This is the real life technique is used in case of industry also. 50. What is S3 strategy? 50 is the maximum, minus 6 is the minimum. So this calculation is over, right? Max min. Okay. Now this is over, right? Right. Now let coefficient of optimism alpha is equal to 0.7. This is what I assume, right? Alpha and alpha value, assumption of alpha value lies in between 0 and 1. Assumption of alpha values lies in between 0 and 1. Okay, here I assume the alpha value is 0.7. Therefore, 1 minus alpha is equal to. Therefore, 1 minus alpha is equal to. Right? Therefore, 1 minus alpha is equal to 1 minus 0.7 is equal to 0.3. You understand? Alpha is equal to 0.7 and 1 minus alpha is 0.3. Are you agree? Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Now here we have to work out the expected profit for strategy S1. Expected profit for strategy S1. Now look at the formula alpha. What is alpha? Here formula is given. What is alpha? 0.7. Fine, 0.7 plus 1 multiplied by, doesn't matter, 1 multiplied by value will remain same, right? 1 minus alpha, right? Right? So alpha 0.7 multiplied by M, capital M. Capital M is what is 30. 30 plus 1 multiplied by 0 point minus 3 will remain same. Are you getting or not? Mathematics.
Yes, sir.
अरे एक में मल्टीप्लाई केलं काय फरक पडणार, काहीच फरक पडत नाही ना. Right, so S1 is equal to 0.7 multiplied by 30, that is capital M, plus 0.3, that is 1 minus alpha 0.3 multiplied by small n, that is 8. Are you getting or not? Just I put the value in this formula. Everything is with us because here we assume that the alpha value is 0.7. That is why we get the 1 minus alpha, because from 1 we subtracted the 1 minus alpha value, that is 0.3. So the answer is 23. Similarly, expected profit for strategy 2 is equal to 0.7 multiplied by the capital M is 40 plus 0.3 multiplied by small n minus 15 is equal to 22. Right? Do the calculations. Let me correct whether I'm correct or wrong, whether my calculations are correct or wrong. Work out on your own also. Expected profit for strategy S3 is equal to 0.7. Expected profit for strategy S3 is 0.7 multiplied by capital M is 50 plus 0.3 multiplied by minus 6 will be the 33.2. Now the strategy corresponding to the maximum expected profit of 33.2, and that is belongs to the strategy S3. Hence, the optimal strategy adopted is S3. Hence, the which S3 optimal strategy is adopted. Will you understand? Is it clear? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So we'll move to the next criterion, that is Laplace criterion. Now, Laplace is an author, so he developed his own theory, right? It represents. So that is why I said 4 criteria. Keep in mind the 4 criteria, because may be linked with the which approach is used, or may be linked with the values, right? Any permutation of combinations can be used to reframe the questions or framing the MCQ type of questions. It represents a rational approach. Which approach is used here? A rational approach is used. The decision maker and is based on the principle of insufficient reason or equality likelihood of the state of nature. Insufficient reason. That is why the rational approach is called. Thus, as the information about the probability of occurrences of the state is insufficient, we don't have a sufficient value. So rationally, it is this method is applied. Right now, the algorithm is step 1. Find out the average expected payoff of each strategy. Very simple. We have to find out the average expected payoff for each strategy. Average expected payoff is equal to sum of all payoff divided by total number of states. And again, out of that, we have to identify the maximum figure among all these average payoff. Right? The strategy corresponding to this maximum average payoff will be the optimal strategy. The same example, no doubt. Come on, fast. Same example. This is the same example here. I'm using the strategy S1, S2, S3, states N1, N2, N3, values 30, 10, 10, 8, 40 minus 15, 5, 7, 50, 20 minus 6 and 10. And out of this, now the calculation is to be calculated. That is the average expected profit, right? Or they may ask in case of MCQ, which method use the average expected profit to find out the criteria or to find out the decision, to take the decision. So Laplace criterion or rational approach. Maybe the different way they put the questions, right? Now, shall I continue? So the first step is to find out the average. What is the average? 30 plus 10 plus 10 plus 8. How many states are there? 4 states are there. So 30 plus 30 plus 30 plus 8, that is 58 divided by 4 is equal to 14.5. Similarly, second strategy, 40 plus minus 15 plus 5 plus 7. The total is 37 divided by 4 is equal to 9.25. And the last strategy, that is 50 plus 20 We have minus 6 plus 10 is equal to 74, right? Something is wrong. What is wrong? Tell me. Right. All right, minus 6 is direct answer I have written. Right, correct. So 50 plus 20 plus 10 is 80 minus 6 is 74. Here also same thing, 40 plus 5 plus 7 minus 15, that is 37. Keep in mind. Okay, 74 divided by 4 is 18.5, and if you look at this, what is the highest one? 18.5 is the highest one, hence the manager adopt the S3 strategy. Hence, the manager adopt the S3 strategy for the decision making. Are you getting or not? Now, here we have discussed the different criterion methods to take the decision, right? This is what the syllabus is covered. This is the concept only included in your syllabus, right? So you have to prepare this theory with the help of this example. Perfectly you'll understand the concept of decision making. Now the one more topic related to this is the important one, that is the game theory. Game theory. Really it is a game of a number, right? Interesting. It is a real game of a number. But that game theory topic I will be discussing after 26, because next 2-3 days I am completely busy with the pre-work of conference, and my appeal you all to help us in case of preparation of conference, because a lot of preparation is required, right? And you come forward and take part in the anchoring as well as the work which is required to be completed by the department, right? And my appeal you all second year students, this is compulsory because you don't have excuse. Attendance for both the dates, because on both of the days we have a very good speakers from the India and abroad, right? From India, from manufacturing MNC companies, the vice president level guests are there. Some of the guests are from the technology related, that is not pure technology, it is a mix of management and technology, right? From the IT and IT enabled industry. So in our conference, the foreign delegates, they are presenting their talk, they are presenting their papers also, right? The countries like Malaysia, Poland, NISA, then Bulgaria, then Tanzania, then Oman, then Bhutan, right? From these various countries, the peoples, they are delivering their technical sessions as well as they are presenting the research papers. So this is the very important example for learning in your life, right? How the systematically we organizing the international conference, but your help is required, right? Go to the dates, you don't miss the single lecture. Are you getting or not what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
There is no
Yes, sir.
lecture is
Yes, sir.
missed. Because those who are remain absent, session wise attendance will be taken. Entire conference we are going to record it, right? If you remain absent, then we will take a strong action against you. Working, non-working, there is no culture. Keep in mind the working students. Even though if you are working, you committed that we will be attending the all events, all activities organized by the IMS. And this conference is only for you. We are spending a very big amount on this guest, right? And this is only for student purpose, right? We are not getting any benefit. Of student benefit, we are organizing the conference. So I appeal you all to attend the conference. There are many attendees from foreign also, right? So keep on attending all sessions, keep on interacting to the speakers. Interaction is very important. And for your kind information, right? We are signed MOU with some foreign collaborations. first time in the history of IMS, I signed the MOU, right, with the foreign collaborations. So we have a lot of opportunity to work with them, right? In brief about the MOU which I signed with the foreign collaboration will be open after the conference, right? So don't miss the conference. You should try to attend the conference because keynote speakers are the head or dean of the universities from the abroad. Hmm? Anything else? Any doubts? Any query? Come on. Any doubts?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay, so keep in mind 25th and
No, sir.
26th in time. In time you have to join because already we are starting the conference delay. We are not starting at 9 or 10 because time difference of country. That is why because of that restriction we are starting delay. Right? So we are starting conference at 11 o'clock. Right? Okay.
Yes,
So
sir.
after conference we'll meet. After conference the topic whatever is remains I will cover. Right? And then I will send you the MCQ type of questions. And even though I will discuss some important theoretical highlights or important points. Right? Okay, chalo. Wish you all the best. Now I will do the meeting. Right?
Thank you,